Here is your Radio Theater Channel weekly podcast for download. The RTC still has the very best old-time radio on the live streaming. And if it's music you love, tune in to the RTC Music Channel, where this link and many others are on our website at oldtimeradiolisten.com. Now, here's Jim.
Thanks for joining us here on the RTC Weekly Download. I'm your host, Jim Dolan. We start off with Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall in a half-hour program called Bold Venture. This is about stolen identity.
Bold Venture. Adventure, intrigue, mystery, romance, starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. Together in the sultry setting of tropical Havana and the mysterious islands of the Caribbean. Bold Venture. Once again, the magic names of Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall bring you Bold Venture and a tale of mystery and intrigue.
To Havana City, the pleasure dome, come fellas with wives so far from home. The tender sea breeze all worries erase and whispers the comforts of Shannon's Place. Oh, Shannon's Place is a sight to see. Bamboo shades, all plastic upholstery, and balconies to get close to the moon, and to shovel in the food, a silver spoon.
Oh man, what you folks got here is a pot of honey. Wild, wild honey.
That's how we impress you, huh, Mr. Brennan?
You especially, Queenie. You don't mind if I call you a private pot of honey, Queenie, do you, Mr. Shannon?
Now, there's a question that's never been asked of me before.
Answer the Southern gentleman, Slate. He asked, do you mind if he calls me a pot?
Yeah, I mind. Next question.
You just won an unbroken arm, Slate.
Oh, good. Now, that is good. Well, I wanted to feel out the kind of a man you are before I talk business with you.
Now that you've felt Slate out, what kind of a man is he?
A gentleman. Protects his woman's honor. A man can do business with a man like that. Now, for 300 Yankee dollars, all you got to do is...
For a fine gent like you spoils the drape of his seersucker with $300?
When the occasion demands it, lady. For the aforesaid money, all you got to do is to take your little old boat and pick up my client off of a freighter around 4 p.m. SS Paloma. 14 hours out of Miami, sailing the Caribbean Sea and payment in advance.
Do it like you said, Dixie, in advance.
3 spanking new $100 pretty. You cotton to the deal?
Yeah, we cotton. Who do we ask for?
You ask me a question I can't answer and it don't bother me. For 300, it don't have to bother you neither.
Give him back the money, Slate.
Now, wait just a minute. This client made contact with me through a native, paid him a fee, asked me no questions, and told me no lies. All the gentleman wants, I was told, is to get off with the freighter. He's sick of the smell of it under his feet.
Shall we give him back the money, Slate?
Your head going to fat? Where else could we pick up 3 C-notes with so little pain?
You said it, Mr. Shannon. No pain. Hardly no pain at all. I couldn't get you to row this tub, could I, Stella?
Big man from the South like you asking a lady to do a thing like that? What's the matter, Dixie? Don't you like to take me rowing in the park?
Love it good. Put your mind to it, Stella. Forget about this Louis Gasper.
Forget it? Man like that? Woman like me? You're a baby boy when you talk like that, Dixie.
Guy's deported from the States. Guy's been shipped to Argentina. Guy like that, what's he going to give you? A slot machine comes up 3 lemons every time? What's Argentina got for you?
You know Louie's not going to Argentina. Havana's as far as he goes. Havana and me. Louie, me, and Havana.
And that's what I arranged at Shannon's place tonight, huh?
Dear boy, dear boy.
You figure it's going to work?
Louie'd give you 100 to 1. And if Louie would, I would. Once more around the lake, dear boy.
Well...
There she is, sailor, the SS Paloma.
Hey, Paloma means dove, doesn't it?
So?
So that SS is the dirtiest dove I ever saw. Let's not go near it. It's liable to rub off on the Bold Venture.
For $300, we'd go over to the Bold Venture with burnt cork. Cut your motor, sailor. Thanks. Paloma, ahoy!
Ahoy!
Powerboat Bold Venture to pick up passenger.
Heave to. I'll throw you a line.
Got it. Here's the rope. Tie it up, sailor.
Oh, thank you, Slate, for your many gifts.
Don't mention it.
Up the ladder, mister.
See you, sailor. You stay here. You the skipper?
Captain Lane.
I'm Slate Shannon. Where's my passenger?
He'll be along.
Who is he?
I said he'd be along, mister.
Yeah. Yeah, you did, didn't you? How come he's not ready? Didn't he know about this transfer?
He knew. Come on. Maybe he needs a hand with his gear.
Right. I want to get back to Havana before dark. Little trouble with my running lights.
Don't worry about it. This cabin. You ready, Mr. Gasper?
This the man?
Name's Slate Shannon. And this is...
Don't bother with the rest of it. This guy is Louis Gasper. I scan the papers from time to time. Gambler, huh? Just got yourself tossed out of the States, huh?
All 48, senor. And territorial possessions overseas. The jackpot.
I've been lousy shaking your hand, Louis. Get yourself another boat, not mine.
This heart of mine bleeds for that head of yours, senor. Captain.
Yeah.
Gracias, Captain.
I do things like that for money. No thanks necessary. Let's take a look at the guy. Yeah. This Shannon's loaded with identification. You'll need it.
See?
What about the girl in the boat?
You ask me a question about a girl? What about her? Senor, with girls there is charm. I will take care of her, nicely. And she will respond. Small wager, Captain?
Not with you.
No wager. It's too bad. Do with this Senor Shannon, Captain. I will do with the lucky senorita. Adios.
This is Havana, Mr. Gaspar. Fine food, good accommodations, and exceptional mortuary facilities. May I suggest you avail yourself of all of them?
And a suggestion to you, Hermosa. Tie up this boat of yours. Here is the rope.
Bend down, Mr. Gaspar, and I'll tie an ascot on your neck.
The boat, tie it.
Aye, rat. Now what?
Off the boat, quickly.
Look, why don't you stop shoving that gun in my back? How am I going to explain a red circle on my skin to my maid? Cut it out, will you?
Wait. I said wait.
Hey, look what's coming. Go after her, Louis. Go ahead. I'll bet you'll drop a handkerchief and you can pick it up and be mischievous and everything.
Louis! Louis, is that you?
Sì, Stella. Mi alma, Stella.
Everything all right, Doc? Who's she?
She was with the man, Shannon.
I don't know who you are, lady, but why don't you tell this guy what the barrel of a gun does to a girl's complexion? Make him stop and we'll be girlfriends. There. How's that for something jolly for us to be?
Well, Shannon, huh? Well, I've heard about her, Louis. Helps him run a hotel called Shannon's Place.
Stella.
Yes.
Until we hear that her Senor Shannon is taken care of, be the senorita's girlfriend, eh? If she tries to move from your sight, well, Senorita Duval, do not make us make you bloody.
Wake up, bully boy. Wake up, Shannon.
Well, let me alone. Let me sleep if that's what I've been doing.
On your feet, bully boy. On your feet.
I'll wait till the hurt in my head lifts, Buster, then
I'll lift it for you, mister. Hey, what? You asked me for something, mister. I gave it to you.
I'm still on the Paloma, huh?
You remembered the smell, bully boy. You tasted the blood on your lips. That'd make it the Paloma.
What'd you do with Sailor, Mr. Val, the girl I left in my boat?
I'll tell you what I did. I didn't take a bet with Gaspar that he could charm her like a bird off a tree. I didn't take it because I'd lose. I get sick when I lose. And that's what I did with your Miss Duval. Welcome aboard the Dove, mister.
This is where you usually get tired of people like me, Captain, in Santo Domingo?
Wherever the mood strikes me, bully boy. Just walk easy and soft on the gangway. That way my crew will be spared scrubbing off your bloodstains. Off the ship's gangway onto the dock.
Just for the record, my identification papers, the ones you and Gaspar rolled me for, where are they?
You want an identity, mister? Well, I'll give you one. Me and the plainclothesman waiting for you there. The one with the ivory toothpick hanging from his waistcoat.
The one who just put it to his teeth? Picks a nice gold tooth, doesn't he?
Oh, you'll love many things about him. Carbado, he's yours.
My many gracias, Captain May. Never have I taken from the hands of a man such as you such an illustrious criminal. You will be revolted by our treatment of you, Senor Louis Gaspar.
If you didn't have that toothpick in your mouth, I'd swear you were talking to me.
He makes funnies, huh, Captain? He makes quips, this Louis Gaspar, whom no one wants. You have his papers.
Hey, what is it?
Right here. I'm sorry I have to trouble you with the scum, Corbata, but Home Office wired us a change of route.
Look, Slob, I'm not Gaspar. I'm Slate Shannon. Your bully boy here shanghaied me, stripped my identification, planted Gaspar's on me. Look at me. Do I look like Gaspar?
I have never seen him, and in a little while I hope to never see you again. Your wrist, Louis Gaspar, so I can embrace them with these tender handcuffs.
Yeah, my wrist. Pick your teeth on this one, Slob.
Hey, he's getting away from me, Carbado.
I do not let the dog run without hurt. Alto, I shoot. Thank you for letting me shoot you, Louis Gaspar.
You hit him, bully boy, you hit him.
He's running into the sea. He's going to run off the dock into the sea. Vengo, amigo, come. I'm going after him.
Oh, don't be a slob, bully boy. Look at the blood he left on your porch dock. He's bleeding heavy. He won't have the strength. Let him die. Save the town the expense. Let him die.
You think?
I think. The man's dead. Why dampen your britches for a dead man?
To Bold Venture, our stars Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, and the second act of our story.
I don't understand you at all, Lady Sailor.
King, what's not to understand? I'm telling you to take the evening off.
See, take off the evening. Get the breezes. Inhale, exhale, fill the lungs.
Take the night off, King Moses.
Very good, Lady Sailor.
Bueno. Now we will be comfortable, Miss Doval. The three of us.
Don't sound so happy about it.
Oh, Stella, mi alma.
Ah, Stella, me alma, me back. Why don't you look at me the way you look at her? We both wear size 12.
A little wager, Stella, that you are size 14.
I'll get it. Hello?
Give that to me. Hello? Sí, this is Louis Gaspar. Oh? Sí, I got it. Thank you, Captain. Stella?
Yes?
Captain Lane on the phone from Ciudad Trujillo in Santo Domingo. A man named Louis Gaspar was shot to death trying to escape authorities, which means that Slate Shannon is a dead man. Adios, Miss Duval. There is no longer need of you.
¿Qué quiere? What do you want?
Open. Open.
¿Quién es? Who is it? Who are you?
Please. Open. I'm a friend.
Go away! Ándale, go!
No, don't scream, senorita. I'm hurt. I don't always look like this. It's just that I'm hurt.
Come, I help you.
Sold you a bill of goods, huh? Thanks. No, I better not touch me. I could spoil your pretty dress.
Oh, my husband will buy me another. Venga, come, I help you.
That chair looks restful. I've had dreams about soft chairs like that.
No, my husband's chair. You will not sit upon it. You will lie on the floor where I can clean up after you.
I've had dreams about hard floors, too. Yeah, just like in the dream. Where's your husband? Let me talk to him. I'll explain how all I want from you is a trip to Havana.
My husband is away. He will be gone for many months.
That's too bad. Huh. What am I saying? Shannon, you're delirious.
Shannon? You call yourself Shannon? But you are Luis Gaspar, the criminal with bullet holes. The authorities have told us to bolt and lock our doors against you. You are desperate, they say.
Just get me to Havana.
Hey, there is great reward for Luis Gaspar.
I'll give you more in Havana. I'll get my friends to pass the tambourine.
Oh, when I wash you and wash your face, you will be pretty, chico, muy lindo. Very pretty.
Senorita Duval, it tickles me how you come to my office to make the ho-ha funnies with me. It's much better than a feather under my nose when I sleep in a hammock.
You got cops detailed to that kind of duty, LaSalle? I tell you it was Slate who was killed. Gaspar is in Havana. I want him dead. You could arrange that for me, couldn't you, LaSalle?
On the word of the Santo Domingo police, Luis Gaspar the gambler was shot and drowned in Ciudad Trujillo.
I've never begged, LaSalle. They planned it that way. Kidnapped Slate. Made them think Slate was Gaspar. Got him killed. And Gaspar is walking the streets in Havana.
There is a thing in law, senorita. You cannot bring charges of murder when there is no dead body in evidence.
Translation?
Translation. Bring me the body of Shannon and I will search for the man Gaspar, even though Gaspar is already dead.
I'll bring you a body, LaSalle. It might even be yours. King, play something happy, will you? I said cut it out. I don't want to hear music like that.
If you said it, I did not hear it. This of Mr. Slate...
King, what do you think?
He dead.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I know. You know. Friends die, Lady Sailor. Friends, dreams, sweethearts, these die. This I cannot change, nor you.
I don't know. Feeling, I guess. Slate, dead. How am I supposed to believe that? And convince myself of it? How?
What will you do, Lady Sailor, if Mr. Slate don't come back?
Do? I don't know. With Slate?
Who is Sailor Duval?
Please go. Come back sometime.
A man who called himself Slate Shannon on my husband's fishing boat, the Juanita, at the docks or a little way down.
Slate, where are you?
Stop making so much noise, sailor. I'm sick. Hi, sailor. I said hi.
Yeah, you're sick, all right. What are you doing sitting there with a flower behind your ear?
That girl insisted. Said it would ward off evil spirits. I'm hurt. I was shot through the shoulder.
Slate, I was worried. I was so worried. They said you were...
Oh, cut it out, will you?
Leave me alone.
Oh, just cut it out. Yeah, I was hoping you'd act foolish like this.
I don't feel this way at all. This is just a big act.
Nah, you're doing fine. Just fine.
I promised LaSalle I'd deliver him a body. Wait till he sees it's yours.
So LaSalle didn't believe you, huh? You thought it was really Louis Gasper who was shot in San Domingo.
Mr. Val. Slate, that's Stella.
Oh, hi, Stella. I got one arm in a sling. Maybe you ought to try for a guy with two.
You're Slate Shannon, aren't you?
Stella, why don't you go tell Inspector LaSalle the happy news? He'll deliver a body tomorrow.
Chowderhead. This is the woman who was with Louis Gaspar.
That's right, honey. Gaspar wants you, Shannon.
Oh, and I want him.
Get in.
After me, Slate.
First of all, Senor Shannon, several things. Welcome to my apartment and my congratulations for being alive.
Makes you happy, huh? Makes you want to slap me on the back. Now, let me give you several things, Louis. I accept your congratulations, and what makes you think I won't turn you over to the cops?
If you think he talks brave now, Louis, you ought to see him when his arm's not in a sling.
I've been standing here picturing it.
I can arrange a broken arm for you, Stella, and you and Slate will be evenly matched.
What would you wager that she could do it, Stella?
With her muscles?
Cut it out, sailor. Why should we let Louis win a bet?
Did you hear what she said about me? She said I had muscles.
Now, what does she know? Louis, how do we go to the cops, in Stella's car or a taxi?
Senor, a taxi would be magnifico. Here is fare. $10,000. Count it. $10,000.
You buying me, Louis?
Slate.
What?
$10,000.
Uh-huh.
Sell.
Understand, it's not a matter of buying. It is just my token of appreciation for Senor Slate's getting declared dead.
Well, $10,000 takes care of sailors worrying about me, but how about that slug through my shoulder?
Oh, see, of course. This I forgot. 5 more, which includes your keeping Mom with the police.
Mum's my word. What's your word, Slate?
Here's your money, Louis. Let's get to the cops.
I'm disappointed. You are a fool.
Here, Louis, take this gun.
Gracias.
Use it.
I admire you, Slate. I would hate to kill you like this.
And why aggravate yourself?
Slate, tell me, are you a gambling man?
Sometimes.
With the dice?
Uh-huh. I've seen it done.
Bueno, like this. These dice. We will roll for a high number, eh?
What's the stakes?
If you lose, you will walk out of here free with the money, but with your word that you will not go to the police.
If those dice aren't loaded, I'm liable to win, Louis.
If you win, senor, you die, thus preserving your integrity as a word keeper.
As I've heard it said, Louis, roll 'em.
Si. It's a 12. You can't beat that, Shannon. You can only make a tie.
Give 'em to me.
Perhaps you will be fortunate, Shannon. One of the dice turns up a 6 while the other still spins.
Yeah, look at it.
Si.
Yeah, keep your eye right on it.
Stupid one arm in a sling, you stupid.
Yeah, real stupid.
Stella, pick up the gun, you.
How's your chance, sailor?
Gee, thanks. Bye, Stella. I didn't mind, Slate. How you coming with yours?
Coming up. You all right, sailor?
Uh-huh. I told you I have a right cross. Now I believe myself.
What'd I tell you about your muscles? Call the cops, sailor, then we can go home. Hey, sailor.
What do you want?
Here, I brought you something. Go ahead, open it.
Oh, you shouldn't have.
Open it.
Huh?
You like it?
A rope. What did you buy me a rope for?
Oh, it's a special kind of rope.
I'm supposed to throw it up in the air, huh? And it stays there. And you climb up and disappear.
No, it's a skipping rope. You'll need it for the training.
Training? Training for what?
Oh, with a right cross like yours, you're a natural for the Golden Gloves.
Who has to train? I can spot you 50 pounds and score a TKO.
Show me. Put up your dukes, killer.
Uh-huh. Round 1. Groggy. Round 2. You quit?
You kidding? I'm a slow starter, sailor. Watch yourself from round 11 on.
And so, our two stars, Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall, have brought to a close our latest Bold Venture story. Special music was composed and conducted by David Rose. May we invite you to listen again next week at this time for another exciting adventure starring Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall together in Bold Venture.
And now it's off to space with X-1, Mr. Costello's Hero, 1956.
In just a moment, X-1. But first, Monitor takes you everywhere and brings you everything interesting, from news and on-the-spot interviews to offbeat features around the world. And Monitor also brings you the finest drama with original stories and Hollywood's top stars each week on Monitor World Theater. What's the weekend's big sports event? You can be sure of top coverage by NBC Radio in addition to all the latest scores and interesting commentary throughout the day on Monitor's sports highlights. Some of the brightest personalities and most interesting features are yours each weekend on Monitor. And now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC.
Countdown for blastoff. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years, on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight's story, Mr. Costello, Hero, by Theodore Sturgeon.
It began the day the skipper called me into his cabin. I'd been a purser aboard the spaceship Star Climber for almost 12 years, and I'd never yet been asked to Iron Man's cabin. But then a lot of strange things had been happening on this trip to Boranguen.
Come in. Oh. Sit down, Purser. I said sit down.
Yes, sir.
All right. Here's a deck of cards. Deal.
Sir?
I said deal. 5-card draw. Go on, man.
Yes, sir.
Well?
3 of a kind, sir.
You didn't draw.
I beg your pardon?
When you play draw poker, you're supposed to draw. If you don't draw, you're supposed to give your opponent a chance to draw. Now, mister, did you ask me to draw?
Well, we haven't been playing that way recently.
Who changed the rules?
I don't know.
Uh-huh. Let me ask you something else. You stood a watch last night in the ship's galley.
Why, yes, sir.
Has anybody ordered a galley watch?
Well, no, sir, but it isn't against the rules, is it?
Against the rules? No, it isn't. Now, tell me, does the cook mind having a man watching him 24 hours a day?
Well, No, sir. You see, that way he knows everybody can trust him.
You mean that way you know he won't poison you?
Well, yes, sir.
Now tell me, Purser. Who aboard this ship suggested that the cook might try to poison you?
Well, I really couldn't say, sir. It just came up. Well, Cookie doesn't mind, sir. Really, he doesn't. He says if he's watched all the time, then nobody can suspect him, so he doesn't mind.
All right. Now, let's proceed to something else. How long has it been customary for the deck officer to bring a witness with him when he takes over the watch?
That's out of my department,
now,
sir.
Now, think hard, Purser. Did you ever hear of a deck officer bringing a witness with him before this trip?
No, sir.
Or stand a galley watch?
No, sir.
Or play draw poker without drawing?
No, sir.
Now, one more thing.
Yes, sir?
We never had Mr. Costello as a passenger on this ship before, did we?
Mr. Costello?
Mr. Costello.
No, sir, we didn't.
Okay. Ask him to come to my cabin.
But
that's an order, mister.
Yes, sir. Let me tell you about Mr. Costello. He was our only passenger. Hello, Mr. Costello.
Hello, Purser.
Oh, am I interrupting something?
Not at all. Come sit down. I'm landing on Borngren tomorrow, so I won't have much more chance to talk.
Well, I'll finish this later, Mr. Costello.
Nonsense. Honest men should be open with each other. Go ahead, show him what you discovered.
Well...
The Purser's a fine man.
Well, Mr. Costello asked me to show him in the space code what a captain can and cannot do.
Now, just a minute, Third. You wanted to show me, didn't you?
Well, yes.
So actually you're going over the limitations of a space captain's power of your own free will, right?
Well, I guess so, sure.
Sure. Tell the Purser the part that you just read me.
Well, it's a sort of safeguard against letting the skipper's power go to his head. Like, suppose a time comes when the captain begins to act up, you see. The crew figures a lunatic has taken over the bridge. Well, the crew can send a delegate for an accounting. If the skipper refuses, then the crew can confine the skipper.
Well, isn't there something about the proceedings having to be radioed at the time they happen?
Now, there is a man who is absolutely fair. Witnesses for the watch, safeguards on the kitchen. I tell you, you're all good men here. Yes, sir, this is the safest ship I've ever seen. Gives a fellow a nice feeling to know he isn't going to get his orders wrong or accidentally find something in the food.
Yes, sir. I wonder why we never thought of that before. Oh, I nearly forgot. Mr. Costello, the skipper wants to see you in his cabin.
Oh?
Right away.
I see. Will you come along with me just as a friendly precaution?
Hmm?
You can wait outside.
Well,
in that way, both of us will know what happened. I'll never be able to say that you didn't give me the message, and you'll be able to say I went to see the skipper. Right?
Well, I guess so. You know, that this buddy system sort of makes everything safer, doesn't it?
That's right, Purser. You can't do anything bad if you have a friend along to witness.
Mr. Costello and I went to the captain's cabin, and I waited outside. After a while, I could hear them shouting. That is, I could hear the captain shouting. Mr. Costello never raised his voice.
And let me tell you, Mr. Costello, that if my crew questions my sanity, they have legal recourse. But you can be sure that meanwhile, if a single man aboard questions my authority, he will learn that I am master of the ship, even if he must learn it at the point of a gun. Now, sir, get out.
Wow. You okay, Mr. Costello?
Yes, I'm fine. Did you hear anything?
Well, yes, I did.
Would you remember what you heard?
I think so.
Let's see. You see this little gadget, no bigger than a pocket watch?
Well, yes, sir. What is it?
Listen, I'll open it.
If a single man aboard questions my authority, he will learn that I am master of the ship, even if he must learn it at the point of a gun.
Whose voice is that?
Why, it's the captain.
Good man.
But how...
That's simple. You see, this little pin that I wear on my lapel here? This is a microphone. This watch is a magnetic recorder. I just use it as a toy, of course.
Well, I'll be darned.
You see, Purser, I'm a collector. What do I collect? Voices. Voices anywhere, anybody, anytime. Listen.
A lunatic has taken over the bridge.
Why, that's the third officer.
Mm-hmm. Listen to this now.
I better not, Mr. Costello. I wouldn't want you thinking I take bribes from passengers.
Recognize it?
Why, that's my voice.
Exactly. The time you brought me the special radio message from Earth Central.
And you offered me a blue gemstone, and I said...
Hey, listen to this.
I take bribes from passengers.
Well, if that isn't the end.
Cute, huh? Well, I guess I'll get back to my cabin and pack. When do we arrive at Borenguen?
6 tomorrow morning.
Oh, good. By the way, I'd like you to come see me when you put in there again.
Well, that's very nice, sir, but you're an important man, and I'm just...
Nonsense. I insist that you visit me.
Well, that's real nice.
Oh, by the way, what's the major trade on Borenguen?
Glunker.
Glunker?
Yes, it's a kind of soft fur. You can make a warm coat out of it that will roll up into a thimble.
You don't say. And the Glunker trade, that's carried out by trappers?
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
They work alone and bring in the pelts.
I see. They spend a lot of time alone, huh?
That's right. You know, sometimes I envy them. I mean, working on a ship, you're almost never alone, and the way I see it, a man needs to be alone sometimes.
Correction. Only, I repeat, only if he has something to hide. Otherwise, to be alone is antisocial and evil.
We put in at Borenguen the following morning. I stood at the ramp of the ship and checked out the supplies and checked in the Glunker pelts that we were taking back to Earth. The Borenguen people were a nice, independent, easygoing bunch. I knew a Borenguen woman named Nola, and she came out to the ship to see me. 15,000 Glunker pelts. Check. 300 pounds of radioactive ergite. Check. Just put that shipment of show seed over next to the ramp.
Hello.
What? Well, Nola.
I saw your ship on the cargo manifest.
Well, it's good to see you.
Will you be on Borenguen long?
Just for a day or so. Listen, I have to get this cargo checked in. Can we see each other later?
I'll be through at the spaceport at 16 hours.
Oh, good. Suppose I... Oh, excuse me a minute. Here comes our passenger.
Well, good morning. I see we've arrived safely.
Yes, sir. I expected you out before this.
I had a few items to get in order.
Oh, Mr. Costello, this is Nola. She's a Borenguena.
Well, it's very nice to meet you.
This is a real nice guy, Nola. See that he doesn't have any trouble with customs, will you? Nola works here.
Any friend of the purser?
Wonderful. Well, I'll say goodbye now. Remember to look me up, purser, next time you hit Borenguen.
I will. He gave me that big, warm handshake of his and clapped his arm on my shoulder. Give you a good feeling to know that a big shot like Mr. Costello really liked you. I got the rest of the cargo checked in. Took maybe 3 hours. Then I was about to go in and ask the skipper for leave when a couple of guys with Space Bureau credentials came aboard.
All right, that's it, boys. Close the hatches. Excuse me.
Yes?
Space Bureau. Is Captain Ireson aboard?
Why, yes.
You're the purser, huh?
That's right. Something wrong?
Would you mind answering a couple of questions?
Not at all.
Has the captain been behaving strangely this trip?
Well, not strangely, exactly.
Anything unusual?
Well, no. He called me in for a card game.
Mm-hmm. Does that happen often?
No, never happened before.
Was he upset?
Yes, I guess he was.
Okay. This gentleman would like you to answer a few simple questions. Meanwhile, I'll look up the skipper.
They took the skipper off the ship and left Borenguen the next morning with a new skipper assigned by the port captain. There was a rumor later that old Iron Man had been court-martialed or something. Nobody knew for certain. We made the rounds after that. Sigma, Nightingale, Carano, all the planets in the fourth system. We even went back to Earth with a load of glizzard skins and black prints. It must have been about, 16 months later that we made it for Borenguen again. I was talking to the third officer.
Purser. I'd like to talk to you.
Go ahead.
We land at Borenguen tomorrow.
So?
I don't like it.
What's wrong with Borenguen? It's one of the best ports in the system.
It was.
What do you mean?
We got a radiogram from the Borenguen Customs a little while ago.
Okay, we got a radiogram. Some bureaucrat sent it. Nothing will happen.
Another thing. The way it was signed.
How was it signed?
Loneliness is evil. Port Captain Borenguen.
Loneliness is evil?
That's what it said.
On a government radiogram?
Mm-hmm.
Loneliness is evil. Where did I hear that before? Well, we touched down on Borenguen at 1200 hours. What a change. The spaceport was deserted. The only people who came aboard were 2 agents from Customs. They censored our tapes and checked our written literature. I finally started a conversation with them. Excuse me, sir?
Yeah?
There is a Boranguina named Nola that used to work in customs. I wonder if she's still there.
I wouldn't know.
Well, the reason I asked, she usually meets my ship when it comes in.
Yeah, I see.
Well, maybe I'll look her up. She has an apartment on R Street.
She won't be living there. Try Central Barracks.
Central Barracks?
That big warehouse near the spaceport.
I thought they stored the Glunker furs there.
They don't use the warehouses to store things anymore.
No?
They need them for the people.
The people?
You haven't been on Boranguen since the Brotherhood movement?
I haven't been here for 16 months.
Well, you'll find that the people have moved into the warehouses now.
What about the apartments? What about the homes?
They're used only for storage space.
I don't get it.
Look, we haven't got time to explain now. My partner and I have to get back to Central Control.
Well, maybe I'll go to try and find Nola.
Better take a companion.
What for?
They don't like soloists on Boranguen.
Since when?
Since Brotherhood. No ladder has a single rung, you know.
So what?
It takes 100 pair of hands to build a house.
Okay.
A single pair is useless. Not only useless, but evil.
I don't get your drift.
All humanity is made up of many parts. Any part that wants to go off by itself hurts the main thing. What good would your hand be if a single finger suddenly decided to go off by itself?
Listen, is this a gag?
It's deadly serious.
Well, suppose I want to go off by myself.
We'll help you.
And suppose I don't want to be helped.
Then you're a trapper, a glunker. You'll be sent into the bush country where the other soloists are sent.
Holy smokes, this place has gone mad.
Are you coming with us?
Look, just suppose that I want to walk across the field to the warehouse by myself, all alone.
You can try. But you won't get 2 steps before they pick you up. Take our advice. Get a companion.
I let them take me over to the barracks. The place that used to be a warehouse. It was unbelievable. The place had been completely cleared of every wall, every partition. There, in front of my eyes, were 10,000 beds, cots, and mattresses spread out over the entire floor of the warehouse. The light was blinding. Huge floods and spots bathed every square inch. Nothing was concealed. Even the plumbing, the showers, tubs, sinks were lined up against an open wall. The agents came in with me and stood at the door. A cluster of Boranguen people waited in a roped-off area.
This is it.
Wow.
The customs personnel are in that third aisle going north.
I'll walk down there. Thanks for the company.
It's a duty. Wait. I'll get you a companion. Anyone for the third aisle going north? Third aisle going north. Yeah. There comes a man. He'll accompany you.
A small, frightened-looking man detached himself from the waiting group and went with me up the aisle of the warehouse. The sound, the smells were frightening. Thousands of people milling around, no privacy, everyone terrified of being alone. I wondered how this had happened. Finally, after an hour of searching, I found my friend Nola.
So that's the way it is on Boranguen now. Nobody seems to know just how it happened. Just seemed better to be with somebody all the time. Then nobody could accuse you of doing anything wrong.
But somebody must have started these accusations. Somebody must have put the fear into people.
I don't know. It started with the Glunkers.
The fur trappers?
That's right. We began to hear things about them. That they were thieves, that they planned to take over the city. Just rumors, of course. And pretty soon, if you didn't like somebody, you called him a Glunker. Then there were signs. No Glunkers allowed. You know?
Oh, I saw some.
We began to hear about it on the televisor, and pretty soon they appointed a committee to investigate and find out if there was any truth to the rumors about the Glunkers. It was headed by Mr. Costello.
Costello? Mr. Costello?
He's a big shot now. Owns half the city, I guess.
Well, it can't be the same one.
Yes, it is. I've seen him.
When did everybody move to the central warehouse?
When the police started picking up soloists, everybody began to move in together. Didn't take long. That's the strange thing. How little time it took.
I talked to Nola for a while, then I couldn't take it any longer. I had to get out, to get away by myself. I found somebody who was going toward the exit, and after a while, we were standing outside the warehouse entrance.
I'm going south.
I'm going north to the spaceport.
Oh.
Tell me, does anybody travel alone?
Sometimes we take a chance on it. I guess I'll have to take a chance right now. I'll be late for my job if somebody doesn't come along soon.
Where do you work?
That orange building right across the street.
Would you like me to walk with you?
Oh, you'll just get stranded there. I'll make a run for it. The street looks clear.
Well, thanks for the company.
Not at all. So long.
Hey, mister, look out, that car. Look out! Why, you... Is he dead?
Yes, sir.
That was deliberate. I saw you. Hello, Purser.
It's Mr. Costello.
Yes, I'm sorry about the accident. My chauffeur was...
He tried to run away.
That's what happens to soloists. If he'd had a companion to warn him, to thrust him out of the way... You understand that, don't you, Purser?
I don't know.
Climb into the car. You can't go wandering about Boranguen alone.
Well,
Police will take care of the body. It's all right.
Okay, if you say so, Mr. Costello.
Drive to the spaceport.
Yes, sir.
Well, what do you think of our little planet?
Well...
I knew you'd like it. Just think of it, Purser. All humankind, a single unit. Yes, this is a people that has found the truth. It awes me. Makes me humble. Speak up, man. I'm your friend.
Well, I was going to say, I'm not sure I like it.
Well, take your time. Nobody has to make a man see the truth. Isn't it right?
Well...
That's right, isn't it?
Yes, I guess it is.
Fine. Yes, only the trappers refuse to see the truth.
Are they really dangerous?
Dangerous? They go out and spend weeks alone by themselves, don't they? Alone with their own evil thoughts.
Evil thoughts?
We all have them, you know. Even you. For example, you remember this?
Well,
Well, this should refresh your mind. Listen to this.
I take bribes from passengers.
Your voice, Purser, and a very evil thought, too.
But that isn't what I said.
That's what's on the tape, Purser. Now then, I wouldn't use it against you, of course.
Mr. Costello, what is it you want from me?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, minor favor, perhaps.
Go on.
Your ship is going back to Earth after it leaves Boranguen.
Yes?
You will have a passenger.
I didn't know that.
To be exact, a mentally deranged man.
Who is he?
His name is Hines. He's been the Earth consul here on Boranguen. He's been recalled to Earth to report.
You said he was mentally ill?
He is, but the Earth government doesn't know him.
Well, what can I possibly do?
I wouldn't want Mr. Hines to go back and tell them a lot of lies about what's happened on Boranguen.
Well...
Purser, I want you to put this capsule into Mr. Hines's food.
What is it?
Sleeping potion.
You think I'm a murderer, Mr. Costello?
Purser, do you know what will happen if this tape recording of your voice is sent back to Earth? Do you know what they do to pursers who take bribes? You'll be court-martialed.
You'd use it?
Only in the interests of protecting our happy society. Now then, will you see that Mr. Hines is properly sedated? You can get 10 years of Uranus. Well, Purser?
Give me the capsule.
Good. Ride over to the ship, driver.
The first day out, the Earth Council, Mr. Hines, was in his cabin, and I brought him his dinner. He was a tense, nervous little man. Here's your dinner, sir.
Put it down, Stewart.
Oh, I'm the purser, sir. The steward's ill, and I'm helping out.
I see. Do you know what's happened on Boranguen?
I was only there a few hours, Mr. Hines.
Let me tell you, then. You won't believe it. Nobody will believe it. First, it was a little wedge, driven in the one place it might exist between the city people and the trappers, the Glunkers. Suddenly, the Glunkers were a menace. Then came the changes. You didn't have to prove that a Glumper had done anything. You just had to prove he was a Glunker. It all happened so fast. Pretty soon you were afraid to be alone for a second.
There was a man named Costello. He came from Earth.
I know him.
You know him?
He went to Boranguen on this ship.
Then you must be the one.
The one? Which one?
Who testified against your captain for the court-martial.
What?
There was a tape recording, your voice and the voice of the third officer. Costello had them.
He used them to send the skipper to Uranus? I didn't know.
You must have known. What's happened to us? What's happened? What?
I got him into his bunk and gave him a sedative. Then I took away the food I'd fixed for him. I still had Costello's poison capsule in my pocket. I went down to the radio room and sent a message to Earth headquarters. 2 days later, we landed. Mr. Hines told his story and I told mine. I showed them the poison capsule and told them what had happened to the skipper and about the tape recorder. Within 24 hours, a task force of the Earth fleet was on its way to Boranguen. It wasn't much of a battle, they tell me. The Boranguen army didn't have its heart in it. That was, 20 years ago, I guess. About Mr. Costello? I met him again last week, right here on Earth. Funny thing, I was sitting in Central Park on a bench.
Well, if it isn't the purser.
I'm sorry, I don't believe...
Look closer. Don't you recognize me?
No, Why, Mr. Costello. I thought
You thought I was on Uranus? I was. I served 20 years. Mind if I sit down?
It's a free Earth.
You know, I'm glad I ran into you. I think you may be just the man that I need.
Need?
Yes. Let me show you something. Here, in this pouch. Recognize these?
They're just live ants.
Exactly. Let me dump them out on the ground.
Won't they crawl away?
They'll come back. Watch. You see, I put a little piece of this bread in the pouch, and I lay it on the ground. See how they crawl back?
Yes, all except that one. He's interested in that dead caterpillar.
Yes. You see, about 1 in 30, I discovered, will eat something different. Break away from the pack.
So what?
Don't you see, man? If we can find a way to make the others turn on that 1 in 30, if we can make the bread eaters think that the caterpillar eaters are dangerous...
They're not dangerous. They're just different.
What's the difference? Just so we can get the bread eaters scared enough. They'll turn on the others.
And then?
And then we can make them do anything that we want. You see what I'm driving at? If you think of these ants as people... Well, where are you going?
I'm leaving, Mr. Costello.
Why? Doesn't what I say make sense?
Yes, it does, Mr. Costello, except for one thing.
What is that?
I'm no ant. So long, Mr. Costello.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features The Claustrophile, an unusual story by Theodore Sturgeon, which turns common sense completely around and plumps it down squarely on its feet. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you Mr. Costello, Hero, a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Theodore Sturgeon and adapted for radio by George Lefferts. Featured in the cast were Wendell Holmes, Mandel Kramer, Bob Hastings, Joe DeSantis, Terry Keane, James Stevens, James Dukas, and Raymond Edward Johnson. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Follow the news with Chet Huntley tonight on NBC Radio.
You have been listening to the Radio Theater Channel Weekly Download. Check out our continuous stream at www.otrlisten.com. And join us next week for another Radio Theater Channel Weekly Download.